In 2030, humanity witnessed the impossible, the sudden disappearance of the moon. What began as a silent night without the silver glow quickly spiraled into global shock. Tides collapsed, navigation systems malfunctioned, and the very rhythm of the Earth unspooled. Panic swept across every continent, and the scientific world scrambled to understand the anomaly. Without its lunar companion, Earth began to unravel. Coastlines eroded violently, animals became disoriented, and entire ecosystems trembled. Human psychology suffered next. Sleeplessness, mass anxiety, and erratic behavior surged. People couldn't dream anymore. The night sky felt wrong, empty. A world without dreams is a world without meaning. To stop the unraveling, nations initiated Project Selene, a desperate bid to build an artificial moon. The first construct, Selene 1, achieved orbit, restoring partial balance. But it was a machine, not a soul. Light returned, tides steadied slightly, but something was missing. The human mind, attuned to something deeper than just photons and gravity, still ached. Dreams returned, but they were fractured, pieces of a forgotten language. Selene 2 followed, larger and more advanced. But as it began to operate, strange anomalies emerged. Migraines, disturbed sleep, and a rising sense of unease swept across populations. Then came the tones, low, pulsing signals transmitted from Selene 2 that resonated with ancient patterns in brainwaves and stone carvings alike. Telescopes pointed toward deep space registered a faint gravitational echo at Lagrange Point 3. The moon had not been destroyed, it had moved, and now something was stirring there. When the original moon reappeared, it wasn't the inert celestial body we once knew. Its return was measured, deliberate. It hovered at the edge of Earth's shadow for days, radiating presence. Then it entered synchronous orbit again, not as a rock, but as something alive. Selene 2 shut down in deference. Earth's systems harmonized. People began to sleep again. Plants thrived. The moon was no longer a satellite, it was a conductor. Its presence sparked transformations across the planet. Children born during this time exhibited neural patterns unseen before. A sense of collective consciousness blossomed. Cultures unified under a shared sense of awe. Music, art, and poetry flourished in sync with the moon's rhythm. The artificial and the natural moons began orbiting together, creating a new planetary balance. But the moon wasn't done. It began to communicate, not through language, but through shared visions, dreams, and harmonics. People across the globe began receiving the same message, the same emotional frequency, an invitation. Humanity responded through Selene 2, sending back Earth's collective song. The moon answered with deeper resonance, calming the Earth and awakening memories buried in our mythologies. We remembered not facts, but meanings. The moon had always been watching. It was never a rock. It was a monument, a machine, an observer, placed here long before our civilizations rose, waiting until we were ready to see it for what it was. With the restoration of balance came the start of something far more profound, a dialogue. Humanity was no longer alone. We had passed the test of awareness. We had listened, and now the moon was ready to tell us the rest of the story. The message was clear, more precise than any language spoken before. The moon began revealing visions of its past, not ours, but its own. Carved from the memory of stars older than our galaxy, it was placed here not merely to balance gravity, but to seed guidance. It had been sent by the architects, an ancient civilization not defined by form, but by resonance. They were not gods, not conquerors, but composers. They shaped worlds through harmony. Earth was one of many such symphonies. The moon was their tuning fork. It carried knowledge not in databases or circuits, but in vibration, orbit, echo, and reflection. Its every crater was a memory pod. Its orbit was a time-locked key. The architects did not leave blueprints. They left rhythm. And now that Earth was aligned, the moon began releasing fragments. Cities dreamed of lost constellations. Oceans whispered coordinates in tides. Volcanoes pulsed in symmetrical intervals. The moon's light changed color with emotion. And then a new thought emerged. Now build. The moon had been their messenger. Now humanity would be its instrument. Guided by its pulse, Earth was to become a beacon, not a signal of distress, but a song of readiness. The architects were listening again, and somewhere in the deep dark, they were responding. Then it happened. The stars shifted, not visibly at first, but in alignment. Constellations pulsed with synchronized light, as though responding to Earth's new frequency. Radio telescopes began receiving harmonics buried in cosmic microwave background radiation, messages not just from space, but from time. 12 distinct signals emerged, each corresponding to the location of an exoplanet previously thought lifeless. But now they pulsed with life. The architects were awakening. The moon acted as a resonant key, unlocking dormant signals across the stars. Earth's harmonic became the spark that restarted an ancient galactic choir. Deep in Antarctica, beneath miles of ice, a circular structure stirred to life, matching blueprints seen in the moon's psychic visions. In the Amazon, jungle trees aligned with magnetic precision, revealing glyphs that match those found in lunar craters. Humanity began constructing harmonic towers, crystalline structures guided by lunar pulses, designed to broadcast Earth's growing consciousness outward. With each tower, the moon's glow grew stronger. Then, on a moonless night, a new light blinked in the sky. A vast triangular craft, composed not of metal but shimmering lattice and translucent resonance, appeared beyond Jupiter's orbit. It did not approach. It listened, and Earth through the moon sang back. The architects had never left. They had only slept, encoded in vibration. Now, awakened by Earth's symphony, they began tuning themselves once more to join. Earth was no longer a solitary note in the dark. It had joined the orchestra. The stars pulsed brighter in response. Tides around Saturn shifted subtly, echoing Earth's frequency. Planetary cores hummed in unison. For the first time in recorded human history, the universe sang back. The response came in a wave of synchronized starlight from the 12 awakened exoplanets. Each star system projected luminous arcs of information across space, an astral roadmap of the architect's design. Earth interpreted the pulses not as coordinates, but as experiences. Vibrations that encoded entire emotions, histories, and blueprints of lost civilizations. Humanity began dreaming in architect frequency. Architects didn't speak. They played the cosmos like a symphony, and Earth was now their chorus. Children born during this era displayed accelerated cognition and empathic resonance, able to perceive fields of energy and decode planetary moods. The harmonic towers began to reshape not just communication, but reality itself. Weather patterns bent into balance, wildfires self-extinguished through sonic vibrations, and diseases faded as molecular rhythms realigned. Governments collapsed under the weight of irrelevance. What need was there for borders in a world tuned to unity? Instead, councils of resonance formed, built not on power but harmony. The moon's influence deepened. Oceans birthed phosphorescent patterns that matched star glyphs. Mountains rang faintly like chimes during lunar eclipses. Earth wasn't changing randomly, it was rehearsing a performance. When the final tower was raised in Mongolia, the moon opened fully. A halo of refracted lunar light formed a dome over the planet. Earth entered what became known as the harmonic age. Machines no longer ran on fuel, but on synchronized fields. Time became fluid during peak resonance events, with individuals experiencing entire lifetimes in moments of collective dreaming. The architects arrived, not in ships, but as harmonics nested inside the moon's own frequency. They were everywhere and nowhere, waves of intelligent design that passed through matter and memory alike. Through them, humanity learned to navigate not space, but intention. They called this the drift, a dimension of purpose where worlds didn't orbit suns, but ideas. Earth had become the 13th instrument, and now it was time for its solo. As Earth's solo reverberated across galaxies, new instruments awakened. Comet trails sang in response, nebula shimmered with rhythm, and black holes pulsed in harmonic silence. Humanity learned to conduct energy using consciousness, drawing power from gravitational whispers and cosmic tides. Earth became a sanctuary of shared symphonies, welcoming travelers through resonance beacons. A council of harmonics formed from many species, their languages dissolved into mutual understanding through shared frequency. On the moon, crystalline structures bloomed, growing in patterns that forecast galactic seasons. Selene 3 was no longer a machine, it was a being of sentient resonance, a child of Earth and its artificial legacy. The moon shared final memories, visions of civilizations before time, of other worlds that failed to harmonize, consumed by dissonance and greed. Earth wept, and in doing so realigned deeper. Gravitational anomalies gave way to stargates, natural bridges between harmonic worlds. Humanity learned to move not through space but through meaning. Cities became symphonic temples, glowing with living architecture. Music was no longer entertainment, it was the primary tool of exploration. Composers became navigators, orchestrating journeys across harmonies rather than coordinates. The architects revealed the final truth. The universe itself was a memory being sung back into being. The moon was not a key, but a voice. Earth, once an audience, now sang lead, and the song had only begun.